Hello and welcome to a stack of packs from the 1992 Leaf Baseball Series 2 edition of cards. This is a beautiful set packed with some superstars, some fun inserts, and actually a gold versioned entire set. So we can find some interesting ones as we go. Over here is our podium. The best card that we find will go on there until there is only one remaining at the end. That will be our winner. And we'll talk players, we'll talk values, and just have a good time as we go. So with that, let's dive right into the first pack and see what we've got. Chris Gwynn of the Kansas City Royals. Al Newman. Chris Jones of the Astros. Bob Scanlon. Mike Bordick. And Eddie Murray, New York Mets. Bob Welch. Hubie Brooks. Greg Swindell. And our gold one is going to be Rafael Palmeiro. Kevin Maas. Terry Leach. Kim Batiste. Juan Guerrero. And Butch Henry. All right, on we go. Pretty quiet first pack, but I found these to be pretty fun. So something cool is probably not far away. There's a lot of nuances in here. Like for example, every card on the back has, if you look at the right angle, leaf in the gloss coating on that. So that's nice. And Al Newman. Chris Jones. But yeah, very nice. It's a very classy set. Fun to hold, fun to look at. It's a good one. Mike Maddox. Curtis Wilkerson. Danny Jackson. There we got the focus. Joe Carter. And Jack Morris for the gold one here. So that's pretty cool. Let's put that one into a sleeve. Nice. We have Donnie Hill. Dennis Cook. And Tim Wallach. Tommy Green. Wade Boggs. All right. And Brian Hickerson, pitcher from the San Francisco Giants. All right, next up, I'm rooting for a Ken Griffey Jr. That'll be a fun one. Not a lot of value in this particular card, but fun to pull a Griffey. We have Tom Foley, Jack Clark, Reggie Sanders, Monty Farris, and Pat Listach. Very cool. This has a value of around $49 or so as a PSA 10. So we'll put him aside and take a little closer look later. But very cool. And Pat will take our podium position for sure as we move on to Peter Hoy. Kevin McReynolds. Dave Martinez. Dave Cochran. Jose Oquendo is the gold one here. Frank Castillo. Gary Carter. This is a cool one too. He'll get the horn. So around $50 or so in a PSA 10. Let's see how the front looks. Little chewed up right around here on the bottom. You can see a little bit of edge wear, but nonetheless, we will save him for later and put him with any others that are worth taking another closer look at. And there is Gary Andres Galarraga, Thomas Howard, and Rick Cerrone. Very cool. So who do you want to see in this one? What would be your favorite player to pull out? We're starting with Kevin Seitzer. Carl Willis. Gary Sheffield. All right. Brian Downing. All right, here we go. Ken Griffey Jr. Very cool, just as we were talking about it a little earlier. Always fun to pull a Ken Griffey Jr. card. I like it. I like it. This one doesn't have crazy value. Maybe around $40 or so in a PSA 10. And if we look here, the corner is absolutely demolished. Let's see if we can get... There we go. So this is more just a fun from a collector standpoint to pull because it's fun to get a Ken Griffey card. So nothing too wild, but nonetheless, we are going to save him. And I think for sure on our podium position, Ken Griffey is going to overtake our Pat Listach. So welcome, Ken Griffey. Let's keep rolling with Kevin Ritz. Walt Weiss. Now imagine, I haven't seen it obviously, because some of these cards you see multiple cards of the same type in the same pack or in nearby packs. What if this gold card is the Ken Griffey Gold? That would be cool. So chances are low, but we'll find out in just a second. Right behind Ruben Amaro. All right, our gold is William Suero. Rick Sutcliffe. And very cool, we have the rookie insert. Here is Rick Trilisek. Rick Trilisek. Very cool. Looks like it's stuck to the card below it. So let's gently pull that one off. And we have right around here, Rick Trilisek. Very nice. All right. Let's and it's interesting because the gold of the rookie inserts is a slightly less gold. Here's all three together. We have the standard cards in the set are the silver, and then we have the gold version of the set, which is gold, and then we have the rookie inserts, which are just a little bit of a lighter gold. So you can kind of tell the three different colors apart as you're looking at the cards. So that's neat. Kyle Abbott and Bernard Gilkey. Ken Patterson and Kurt Schilling on the Phillies. All right. Next up, we are rounding the corner. This is pack number 5 of 9. So we're going to be right smack dab in the middle. And we are starting out with none other than Lou Whitaker. He'll get the horn. This card has a value of around $70 or so in a PSA 10. So we will put him into a holder for now, or a protector, and we'll check out more later. But that's cool to find. I think Ken Griffey's still going to keep our podium spot. And we move on to Mark Gubiska, who I think we just saw moments ago, as I was learning how to pronounce that one. Ruben Amaro. Mike Pagliarulo. All right. Manuel Lee. Bob Scanlon. Chris Jones. Al Newman. And Chris Gwynn. Our gold one is Terry Shumpert. The gold ones do seem to stick to the cards around them, so I wonder what that causes it, but it seems to be frequent. Randy Johnson. All right. And around we go again. Randy Bush. Double Randys. I wonder what the statistical probability of that is. And I wonder if there's going to be a third Randy. Only time will tell, and we will find out right now. Rich. Okay, we got an R, so 3 R's in a row. Rich Gossage of the Oakland Athletics. Tom Candiotti. All right. Of the Dodgers. And John Vanderwall, Montreal Expos. Very, very fun run so far. Continuing with Scott Radinsky. There we go. In focus. Brett Barbary. Luis Rivera. Kent Herbeck. It's pretty cool. The ball is going right into the glove. And around we go with a Butch Henry. Gary Carter. So here's a cool one. Yeah, worth around $50 or so in a PSA 10. So we will save him for later and add him to our team. Our lineup is building very nicely. We have, of course, Ken Griffey on our podium and Andres Galarraga. Thomas Howard. And upside down, our goal is going to be Andy Sienkiewicz from the New York Yankees. Jeff Schaefer. And Jeff Kent. All right. Very cool. So this card gets the horn. One of the more desirable cards in the set. Around $90 or so in a PSA 10. This does seem to have some centering issues, so probably near worthless, though let's put him aside for later and add him to our team, which now includes Ken Griffey, Jeff Kent, Gary Carter, and on we go. We have Lee Gutterman, New York Yankees. Ellis Brooks, Boston Red Sox. Bobby Bonilla, all right, New York Mets. And Randy Johnson, another Randy Johnson, but always good to see Randy Johnsons. But it's another example of the insert quantities in this set. Definitely a uniqueness that I've only seen here. And on we go. We got Lonnie Smith. Dale Svem. Gary Petit. Troy Afner. We got Gary Varsho. Yvonne Calderon. Greg Olson. Chris Sabo. Omar Vizcael. And our gold one is going to be Trevor Wilson of the San Francisco Giants. Ellis Burks, Boston Red Sox. Jesse Orozco. Storm Davis. Henry Cotto. And Melindo Perez. New York Yankees. We are on the final stretch, 2 packs to go. And optimism is running wild. We already got the Ken Griffey though. So what would you want to get next? What do you want to see in here? Dale Svem, again, we just got him in the previous pack. Gary Petit, again, previous pack. Here's that weird, same cards, really close thing with this series. Troy Afner, I think we just had him too. Chris Gwynn. Rich Monteleone. Mike Pagliarulo. Trevor Wilson. Mark Whitten. Storm Davis for the gold card in this pack. Chris Gwynn. We just got him in the previous one, I believe. Wes Chamberlain, that's a new one. Philadelphia Phillies. Jose Offerman. Glenn Davis. Rafael Belliard. And Travis Fryman. All right, here we are, arrived at the last pack of the stack. We've done great so far. I wonder if there'll be any surprises hiding here in the end. We're going to find out together right now. Ken Griffey, another one. So very cool. I think we obviously have Ken on our podium, but this is the upside of that weirdness of where there seems to be similar cards very close by in the packs. But here we get the benefit of double Griffies. Definitely some centering issues. And you could even look here. Here's our podium one. And then here's the one we just pulled. And you could see on the one we just pulled, there is, a lot more room on the bottom than the top. So centering is not very good at all. And then the one we had earlier, centering's a little better, a little off left to right, but the corner is eaten up. So 2 Griffies, none are going to be big time, but still cool to see them. We move on to Bill Landrum. Trevor Wilson. And that's also an interesting aspect to just because a card is fresh out of a pack doesn't mean it's going to be in good shape. And that's one of the reasons why PSA 10s are so tricky to get, because even brand new cards are very likely not going to be a 10. So all part of the adventure and the hunt and the uniqueness of getting 10s, when they really are. So on we go with Mike Gardner. We have Andujar Cedeno is our gold version in this pack. And Brian Harvey. Jack Morris. Around we go again. Ken Hill. Junior Noboa. And Lance Blankenship. Excellent. Let's see who our team is for today. Starting out, we have our double Ken Griffey Juniors. Always cool to have that. And then we have our Jeff Kent and Gary Carter ×2. We have Pat Listach and Lou Whitaker. So put them all up top, and I'd say a pretty solid team to be working with. So I hope you learned something as we went along, and I hope you had fun. There you have it. Until next time.